Look at that, the Bitcoin hit a record high of $40,000 this week, and in less than a month, the Bitcoin has doubled.
Bitcoin hits its all-time high of $40,000. As I'm recording this video, the value of one Bitcoin is equal to 30 lakh rupees. That's the value of one Bitcoin. With this spectacular movement in Bitcoin, the market capitalization of cryptocurrencies surpassed $1 trillion. To give you a perspective, you can add up the GDP of our neighboring countries, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal, Sri Lanka and Myanmar, and it would still be less than $1 trillion. But what explains the craze around Bitcoin? And what is Bitcoin in the first place? Let's understand in today's episode. In today's world, central banks control our monetary system. In India, it's the Reserve Bank of India or RBI. RBI decides how much money should be in circulation, how much interest you should get on your bank deposits, and how much interest you should pay on your loans. In simple words, RBI controls your money. Then comes the banks, which act as a carriers of money. They ensure that money reaches to every nook and corner of India through their branches. In between comes the credit card companies, payment gateways, which help you in making transactions. But they all have one thing in common, that is access to your personal information. Every time you send money to someone, it is recorded in bank database. It makes it easy for the governments to track your activities. Every time you swipe your credit card, you are sharing your personal information with the credit card company, assuming that your information is secure. Hacking is all it takes for your information to be made public. Also, can we trust banks? They give depositors money as loan to big corporations. Many of them default on their loans. On top of that, they charge hefty charges for every transaction. This system is inefficient and insecure. But what if technological innovation allowed everyone in this world to be their own bank, to create a currency which is free from tax and banking fee? A system where all our information is private. A single answer to all these questions is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not really a coin. It doesn't have a physical existence. It is a digital currency belongs to a category called cryptocurrency, created in January 2009 following the financial crisis. Bitcoin is a decentralized currency system based on a technology called blockchain. It follows the ideas set out in a white paper by a mysterious person called Satoshi Nakamoto. Till date, no one clearly knows who Satoshi Nakamoto is. Is he a person or a group of people? He created this technology, was active online for some time and then vanished. But before that, he made the code behind Bitcoin open source. It means everyone can see the code behind Bitcoin. To clearly understand how Bitcoin works, we have to understand what blockchain is. A blockchain can be thought of as a collection of blocks. Each block contains the information regarding the transactions, like buying or selling of Bitcoins. We can also call it a ledger. Just like your bank statement, where you can see the debits, credits, details regarding the sender, receiver, and the transaction amount. Normally, banks store this information in a centralized database. But unlike banks, blockchain shares the information in blocks to all the computers connected to this network. It means every system in the network is a database and all of them have the same information. So if someone tries to hack the database, it would almost be impossible because to take down this network or to modify the information in the database, hacker has to take down all the systems in the network. But how can we say that blockchain is secure when everyone in the network can see the transaction information? That's where the technology called cryptography comes into picture. Using this technology, the information in the Bitcoin ledger is converted into coded language, which no one can understand. So when transaction information is shared in the network, all they can see is a random set of alphabets. That's too much of technology. Now let's understand how a normal transaction in Bitcoin happens. When you try to transact in Bitcoin, say sending Bitcoin to your friend, every system in the network has to authenticate the transaction. Then only this transaction will be processed, and millions of transactions are processed every second worldwide, and users have to pay no charge for this. That sounds amazing, but that doesn't fit into logic. How can someone help you and authenticate your transaction and don't expect any payment? To understand this, we have to ask another question. How does new bitcoins come into existence? Somewhere, someone has to create a new bitcoin, just like how RBI prints money and releases into system. That's where Bitcoin mining comes into picture. As I mentioned earlier, there is a network of computers which help in authenticating the Bitcoin transactions. These are not some basic computers. These are high performance supercomputers which cost thousands of dollars. As a reward for their effort in facilitating the transaction, these computers are paid a reward in Bitcoins. That's how a new Bitcoin comes into existence, and this process is called Bitcoin mining. So, Bitcoin mining is the process through which new Bitcoins are created. How many Bitcoins a miner gets is highly dependent on the number of systems in the network. So as the time progresses, new Bitcoins are added to the system. But the total number of Bitcoins which will ever be created is limited to 21 million. After that, no new Bitcoin will come into existence and Bitcoin mining will stop. This limit is there mainly to ensure the limited supply of Bitcoin, which in turn helps in Bitcoin to sustain its value. It is totally logical and it is based on simple economics. When supply of a commodity increases, its value comes down. When Venezuela and Zimbabwe started printing too much money to boost their economy, country went into hyperinflation and their currency became worthless. But this will never happen with Bitcoin as it won't be possible to create unlimited Bitcoins. Bitcoin is a programmable currency. It's a piece of code with enormous value. But where did this value come from? For example, when we say $1 is equal to 74 rupees, this exchange value is decided by a couple of factors like India's imports and exports, government policies, inflation and so on. But how do we decide the value of one Bitcoin, which some of the governments around the world don't even recognize as a currency? But still, Bitcoin hits its all-time high of $40,000. You see, Bitcoin has a value because people believe that it has a value. What do I mean by that? Let me give an example. In India, RBI is authorized to print currency notes. It prints a 100 rupee note and tells you that this is worth 100 rupees. But if you look closely into 100 rupee note, it is just a piece of paper with numbers printed on it. This note by itself don't have any value. What gives that value to that paper is our belief in Indian government and a promise from RBI governor. You can actually see this printed on your currency note. So as long as the citizens of India believe in the words of RBI governor and trust in the government, this paper will be worth 100 rupees. But once we lose the trust in the Indian government, that 100 rupee note is just a worthless piece of paper. That's what happened in Venezuela and Zimbabwe. So in the same way, Bitcoin has a value because people believe that it is going to revolutionize the future of currency. They see a value in it. We call it a perceived value. As the currency is available in open market, people started buying it, just like they buy stocks. As more and more people bought it, its value is going on increasing. That's how Bitcoin hit its all-time high, and where it is going from here, we don't really know. Today, there are two kinds of people in the market, those who believe in Bitcoin and those who don't. But so far, Bitcoin didn't disappoint the people who believed in it. After a highly volatile bumpy ride, it gave stellar returns to investors, and many of them became millionaires. Soon, I will make another video with some more insights into the world of Bitcoin. Hope this video helped you in understanding Bitcoin. Let me know in the comment what do you think about it. If you like my content, consider subscribing to my channel and hit that bell icon to be notified every time I release a new video. Thanks for watching. This is Curious Monk, signing off.